Hello everyone and welcome to a series of games casted to you by SchickyStarcraft. Please check out and subscribe to my channel at youtube.com/SchickySC. This series is brought to you by starcraftworld.it, formerly known as GLHFIT. Please check out their website at starcraftworld.it and their channel at youtube.com/SCworld.it. This series is organized and run by Morrow, and it is a first of many. These will be friendly games with some top players testing out new maps created by himself. And I have to admit, after glancing over these maps, they do look fairly sweet. Today we actually have the first map, and I'll go ahead and get the game started. We have the first map, Argutaris. It is a 4-player map designed for 1v1 games, and it seems to lead probably more toward macro-orientated games, as most 4-player maps do. Anyways, this first game, as I said, on Argutaris will be with the Red Terran Strelok spawning in the top left corner, and in the top right corner we have Saber Rider, which is actually Haypro, the yellow Zerg, spawning in, as I said, the top right corner. So Haypro versus Strelok, two very top players across the world, and it is on Argutaris. And now each base does have a natural expansion that is down a very, very small ramp just outside their base, and cleverly enough, it actually has three high yield mineral patches hidden behind these destructible rocks. So if you are going to take a fast expansion, you do only have 5 mineral patches as well as your 2 gas, and they are the standard size, of course. But if you destroy these destructible rocks, you can have access to some high yield minerals. Further outside your base, you actually have a Xel'Naga watchtower, and this Xel'Naga watchtower does let you have sight over this ridge in the main player's base, or in this base. So that is important to note, and we will show that later. And across the map, we also have another expansion, and this is just 8 mineral patches as well, and that is also guarded by a Xel'Naga watchtower and a very, very large ramp with a little bit of hidden brush, and then destructible rocks leading towards a smaller ramp, which will lead towards your opponent's base, or maybe it's an empty expansion at that point. I don't know. Depends on the spawn locations. For the spawn locations, it does look fairly symmetrical, and it looks like this will be the other main base, and this will be the other main base. So you do have a potential cross spawn, which will lead to very, very heavy macro games, especially in TVT or PVT. Actually, I guess anything with Zerg as well should lead towards some fairly heavy macro games at that spawn locations. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this game. I can describe more about the map as we go through. So it looks like Haypro has chosen to go for a fast expansion. It looks like he went up around 15, maybe spawning pool 15 and then hatch 16. It's really hard to say as I wasn't watching, but he does have his first few Zerglings out as well. So he looks like he's going straight for that destructible rock. So with his overlords, he did scout that out, and he did notice that there are high yield minerals there. So he's going to try to get advantage, or take that and get the advantage fairly early. Strelok, on the other hand, is looking to just go for a 1-1 build so far, maybe then go for a starport. We'll have to wait and see. Working off only 1 gas right now, so I don't see him going for a fairly mech-heavy build unless he gets that other gas. And no, he's not. He's actually going for a command center. So this is a somewhat standard fast expansion opening for Terran, although I do usually see it's 1 barracks and then your command center and then a couple more barracks. But he's choosing to get out this Hellion first, dropping down the supply depot, and his Hellion's going to get out there and get into the base of Haypro. Now, the choke point here is fairly large, but as you get closer to the I guess, hatchery or main town center building, it does get fairly narrow. And with that, you can block it off. He's actually going to do that fairly well with 1 queen and 1 spine crawler. And it looks like the Zerglings are just going to keep hacking away at these destructible rocks. Now, he does have an Overlord up here watching to make sure that Strelok doesn't expand, but little does he know that he is going to. The main base of each corner is actually fairly large, so you've got lots of build room here to hide any tech or to put any production buildings that you need to. And it looks like Strelok's now going to switch over to a 3 racks build, and he's going to leave his his factory fairly idle. And he's got a Hellion just sitting outside this door. It did get no harassment done, but Haypro does now have the destructible rocks killed, and he now has access to that high yield. So, wow, his harvesters just climbed fairly fast there. He's now almost 11 harvesters up on Strelok, and especially with the access to that high yield, his income is going to be a lot higher, even though Strelok does have the mules. So these unlock watchtowers haven't been activated yet, or they're not. Oh, and as I'm speaking, they are. And as you can see now, if we look at Haypro's viewpoint, I don't like that. Anyways, you can see all the way up. So he can now see these 2 barracks and the supply depot along with the Marauders and Marines. So he's bringing some Speedlings in. They're going to come against these Hellions. They're going to get a good surround on them, and they take 1 out, but not the second one, and they are forced to retreat, taking about 4 Zergling loss. So not really too bad of an exchange there for either player, but Haypro does have a significant harvester lead at the moment, and it looks like Strelok's actually going to start to push out here. So one Hellion getting a little ahead of himself, trying to do some little micromanagement here, but he's not going to have to, as these Zerglings did just run straight out. And yeah, so he's got 6 Marauders and 5 Marines and a couple Hellions, but these Zerglings are going to get a big surround, and these Queens are tanking some of the damage. Queens don't go down, only losing a few Zerglings, and my mouse is going crazy. Hold on 1 second. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I just had to replace the batteries in my mouse as they seem to be dying. Anyways, so yeah, Haypro here is going to be pushing in with a bunch of Zerglings. He's going to try to surround these Marines and take them out. There is a bunker here coming up, but it doesn't look like it's going to be up in time to ward off these Zerglings. And the Zerglings actually are going to get to take out this supply depot as it was burrowed. No, he leaves it hanging, so he may get to repair that. We'll have to wait and see. These SCVs are holding off as much as they can until these Marines come out, and a few Marines do come out, but it's not quite enough. And that supply depot did burn down, and the Zerglings now do finally finish dying, but now another fresh 10 Zerglings do come in, and they are going to kill this bunker as well, but I believe he's going to hold off this as well. It's going to be close. The Marines do have stim already, if we get the production tab up. We've got a Thor coming out as well, and with some help from these SCVs, the Marines do push them off. He doesn't know that there is a Overlord up here. And Haypro does have the Zelnaga Watchtower still, so he is getting to see quite a bit of Strelok's, I guess, ramp in front of his base. And on the other hand, Strelok has almost no map control at all. Anyways, I noticed they have fixed the keys, the hotkeys finally, for the perspectives, view perspectives, and yeah, it now works with 1, 2, 3, 4, and E. So now with a Thor out on the field, I don't know what he's thinking. Maybe he was expecting to see some Mutalisks. There is an engineering bay up and a few turrets up by his gas in his expansion, and we've got even more Zerglings coming out. So switching to Hydras a little bit, but also getting a Baneling nest now that just finished inside his base. Tons of Overlords popped out. Looks like he's going to be macroing up as much as he can. He is getting Groove Spines, and it looks like Haypro is going to be pushing in on these SCVs again, but these Zerglings are probably going to be kept out. Might have got a few kills, not many though, as the Marine Army with the Thors are now looking to push out as well. So yeah, there is a ramp here, very small. Ooh, SCV's coming. Looks to be on auto repair for the Thors. Anyways, yeah, a small ramp leading to these destructible rocks into another expansion with a large ramp here to the Zelnaga Watchtower. So multiple ways to come at each enemy, and of course you could come up this way as well, straight through the middle. But there's so many side entrances. I really like the diversity on this map in ways you can traverse the map, of course. So army of Zerglings and Hydras now fighting up against these Thors. Marines stim, and they're doing a little bit of attack and move, trying to fend off these Zerglings that are trying to flank them from behind. Both Thors do go down, the SCVs are gone, and these Hydras are going to clean up the rest of these Marines. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. Strelok does GG. So Haypro does take that fairly convincingly. And we are going to have a few more games on this map to just try out a few more strategies, see a few more matchups, and play some more games. So hang tight for game 2, and I will bring that to you right away.